blew all my money, on bills and stuff. Got down to like $300 in my checking account, was on my last limb. My wife's not working. Now she's going back to get a job. Man, I'm driving Uber Eats at 35 years old, like going from this job making 150, 175, I'm down to where I said I'd never be again. I'm that dude that said I'd do anything in the world for my kids. So I'm working all day in roofing. I'm getting off work, taking my kid and my wife for me to drive Uber Eats, hoping someone cancels their order so we get free food, like literally living like that.
So just on another note here, because I mean, you built an incredible team, right? I mean, you built an organization of 100 people. Where did where was the transition for you into building a roofing company? Where did that start? How did it start? Where did it come from? And how'd you do it?
It was weird. I was actually, at the time, I was living in Michigan, in Detroit. I was running some health clubs up there, some gyms, and the owner of all the gyms, who was worth a lot of money, got his money from roofing, okay? And I started seeing people have success in roofing, a lot of it. And I was kind of like, man, why not me? And I'd interviewed a few people up there, and they turned down the job making $20,000 more a month to get into roofing. And I was like, man, what is going on? And man, ironically, a buddy of mine from Dallas calls me up and goes, hey, man, I'm trying to expand my roofing company. Do you know anybody that'd be interested in sales? I saw your post the other day. Are you still in Dallas? I said, no, man, but I know people that are looking in Dallas, and that was why my post was. He goes, well, man, if anyone's interested in sales, send them to me. I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, man, why does this roofing keep coming up? And it finally clicked. I was like, man, maybe I need to do roofing. So I told my wife, and she was like, you're crazy. I don't know why you think you'd be into roofing. And but I just, it wouldn't get out of my mind. And I was like, man, I need to do something different. And I think the reality was, the thing that hit me, I never got a chance to. I love Disney World, Disneyland. I love them both, right? Like I'm going to Disneyland this summer and Disney World for Christmas, and it's a creative place for me. And I think it was crazy. Somebody sent me something the other day that was like, Disney adults that go to Disney just grew up too fast, and now them taking their children there is a way to them to relive their childhood. And it hit me, and I love it. My kids love it. It's a great time. We go, family bond, whatever. And we were lucky enough. When my son was like 4 months old, 5 months old, we were able to afford to go to Disney World for a couple of days. That was my first time I'd ever been. And I fell in love with it. And what I realized, the trip, $4 or $5 grand, whatever it costs, it's a significant amount of money. I was making $150,000 to $175,000 a year. And after taxes, after paying your bills, I was able to save $500 to $1,000 a month. That was if we didn't do anything. That was like basically living. And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, man, I'm never going to get a chance to take my kid to Disney again unless I save up for 10 years. And like, I just didn't want that life. And people say it's like, oh, well, Disney, that's your motivation. I'm like, yeah, man, it wasn't just Disney, but it was these trips with my family. Me not having a family, when my wife first met me, she's like, let's go on vacation. I didn't want to. I hated vacations. I don't know why. It's maybe because I didn't go on them. But when we had our children, I was like, man, this is the greatest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I want to like cherish this moment. I want to create these experiences that I never got with my dad. And I'm not going to do it doing this job, man. I'm not going to save any money. And I'm going to be that dude that wakes up one day and I'm 60 years old. And my son asks me, Dad, what should I do when I grow up? And I'm going to be like, you can do anything you want. And he's going to say, why didn't you, Dad? And I don't want to have that conversation. And so, man, like, let me go out there and, man, prove it right or prove it wrong. Let me do something. And I said, man, I'm going to go take a leap of faith. I want to do this roofing thing. It's straight commission, but there's guys making $250,000, $300,000 a year, man. I'll smoke these dudes. I'm super competitive. So my wife's like, you're a fucking idiot. You're crazy. But she always believed in me. And we moved back to Texas. And, man, I was terrible at it for the first 3 months. Blew all my money, on bills and stuff. Got down to like $300 in my checking account, was on my last limb. My wife's not working. Now she's going back to get a job. Man, I'm driving Uber Eats at 35 years old, like going from this job making 150, 175, I'm down to where I said I'd never be again. I'm that dude that said I'd do anything in the world for my kids. So I'm working all day in roofing. I'm getting off work, taking my kid and my wife for me to drive Uber Eats, hoping someone cancels their order so we get free food, like literally living like that. And I was just down, man. And I was like, wow, I got to do something. I've got to like let go of this and go all in. And I finally did. And I started crushing it. And I just went into like sponge mode, learning, listening to audiobooks. I stopped listening to music. Like, why am I listening to music on my drive to work? Listen to a sales training, listen to a leadership training. Stop listening to that crap because what's on your mind, your ears are going to hear and your eyes are going to see. And I'm looking for problems, not opportunities. I'm looking for all these challenges and not solutions. And so I just flipped it and I said, okay, I'm just going to fail my way to success. And I think I spent so much of my time trying to make other people happy and was concerned of what other people thought of me that I had a million friends, but I was all alone. I had so many friends, but I was unhappy. And I said, I'm going to make myself happy. I'm going to chase my goals and dreams. And if I'm all alone doing that, then great. I would rather do that and be happy. And I had the conversation with my wife and we went all in and started killing it. And during that company though, look, our goals and dreams didn't align. This guy had his vision and he was successful at it and I had mine. And I told myself that if I'm going to create this legacy for myself, then I've got to do it with myself. Like, I need to go create it. I need to stop trying to push my legacy onto other people. And I said, I'm going to open my own company. And my wife was like, okay, here we go again. And I just remember she told someone, she's like, my husband believes the crazy shit that comes out of his mouth. Like, that's the difference. Is like, some people say these things and they don't believe them. She's like, he says them and they sound crazy, but he believes them. And I had this belief that, man, I'm going to create something special. Like you said, man, all those hoodlums out there that didn't have a chance, that shouldn't have had a chance. All the ones that everybody doubted them the whole life. All the ones that were counted out, that, the talented ones, the underdogs. I was like, why don't I go create something for us? And even the kids that grew up with a silver spoon, but they were judged because they had a silver spoon. Man, come make something of yourself here. Prove all those people wrong. I was like, let's create it for people like us that didn't have the opportunity. And that was really the goal. That was the mission. And it was like, let's create a roofing company that takes care of their customers, right? Like, even when we make a mistake, let's make it right. Even when something goes wrong, let's fix it. And then let's care about people and build something special. And that was literally the goal. And so that was how it was just like, I'm going to go all in with this and I'm going to, be what I thought. And there's been engineering along the way, man. I've had to reinvent myself because for first 2 years, I led the company in sales and I was a hustler and I was a grind and I was doing it all. And what happened year 2 was we weren't growing in people because I was so focused on like in the business that I wasn't focusing on adapting. So I had to reinvent myself. So I had to change from the hustler sales guy to a leader CEO. And I've had to reinvent myself and constantly work on different strategies because I'm a competitor and I want to win and I want to take your soul as a competitor. Like, I don't play nice in the sandbox when it comes to the competition. I don't try to I don't try to bash you or any of that, but hey, man, I'm coming for your lunch money. And anyone like I don't want to be your friend. And I'm on that, and I have a really hard time dealing with people that are average. I have a really hard time dealing with people that don't want to win. I have a really hard time dealing with people that don't work as hard as I do. And that was a detriment because I pushed off great employees. And I had to readapt myself and say, man, like, championships are won with role players. Like Michael Jordan, the greatest to ever do it, had role players that helped him win. And you need those people. And I started to say, man, why don't I value what people do well? They don't have to be me. And thank God for it, because I'd probably want to kill me if I was dealing with me all day. And so I had to reinvent myself. So I go from, in our second year in business, we did over 10 million. So people were like, you're the man, you're the man.
If you like this video and you want to watch another one, click right here. If you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.